Hey guys, today I'll be showing you my Tenyi YGOPRO for you for September of 2020. Yes, September of 2020. You're asking where have I been? Why haven't you put videos for like a couple of weeks? Well, first up, things happen in life. Things happen in life. I started school again, and classes have been very on of the schedule. I've been trying to, check out how I'm gonna fit this in my schedule, and yeah, scheduling, life things, and I have other things in my life. But yeah, um, I miss doing this, but also I have other things in life. So you're gonna asking, I don't care about your life. Just give me deck profiles. Just give me things so I can beat my friends and be champion. I wanna be the guy who destroys the meta. Nah, I just brought something fun to this. So yeah, let's start with the deck profile, shall we? And I'll later talk about what's going on in my life. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Tangy Spirit Vishuda. If you control no effect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control a non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target one card your opponent's control. Return it to the hand. Really cool thing. Yeah, it said that does target, but it's a good thing to return something back instead of being destroyed or being something. So monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. Well, they're screwed with this. Next up, we have 3 copies of Tangy Spirit Ashuna. Now, this is another great card. If you control no monster, obviously it's the same thing. Each Tenyi monster can be special summoned if you control no non-effect monsters. But yeah. So the only thing that I'm going to be reading is the other effects. So now you know what's that. So it reads, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, special summon 1 Tenyi monster from your deck except Ashuna. Also, you cannot special summon any monsters for the rest of it except for worm type monsters. Obviously, this deck is entirely made of worms. So yeah, pretty solid card. Next up is the water. Next one is Tangy Spirit. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's Shatana. I think that's you say Shatana. Shatana, that's what I'm gonna say. Shatana. Sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm going with Shatana. Same thing. You can if you control a non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target one of those monsters. Those destroyed monsters, special summon it to the field, then destroy a monster your opponent controls, which is pretty cool. Because it does say target, then it is saying destroy, which is really nice. Great way to recover your link monsters. Pretty simple like that. Any of your any of the vanilla link monsters you have, and yeah, it's pretty good Tenyi monster, I gotta say. Next 3 copies are 3 copies of Tangy Spirit Adarha. That's how you say the name. Anyway, Adara. We're gonna call it Adara. This is your only tuner of the Tenyis, but it's a pretty cool Tenyi. This one does the same thing, but the banish effect of this is from his effect is that this card you can banish it from your hand or graveyard, and then target one of your banished one of your banished worm monsters. Add it back to your hand, which is really nice because you can recycle back all your Tenyis or any worm monsters that you have. Pretty solid card, I gotta say. Now, the 2 ups that we're running for Tenyis is 2 copies of. Oops, that was my phone. Do apologize for that. 2 Tenyis Spirit Mapura. That's how you say Mapura. And says the same thing. This one is different. You can banish this card from your hand or graveyard and negate the activation if when your opponent activates a card effect that targets an on-effect monsters, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, and this is a quick effect. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy, which is really good. But the thing is that it has to be targeted. But yeah, so it's good. It's a good card. Next up is Technisphere Nahata. Oh, sorry about that. Nahata. This one is another good Tangy Spirit, but playing at 2 is really good. Aries, when an attack is declared involving a face-up non-effect monster, your opponent's face-up monster, you banish the card from your hand or graveyard. The budget I just ate. It loses 1,500 of attack until the end of this turn, which is really nice because against a lot of boss monsters, this is a good card. Really good card. Last of the worm monsters that we're running is 2 copies of Mirror. If you guys know what Mirror does, cannot be special summon, except for a worm type monster's effect. During the main phase, you can reduce this card's level by 1. If you do special summon 1 mini Mirror token, level 1, you can only use this effect up to 3 times per turn, which is pretty cool because you can involve making tokens, and you can use the tokens to link summon or synchro summon, which is really nice, I gotta say. And the great thing is the tuner, which is another thing. Yeah, so you have the one Tangy Spirit tuner, and then you have your generic worm tuner. So it's pretty cool. Those are all the worm monsters we're playing. Now for the non-worm monsters, we're playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler, the cheapest hand trap you can buy, literally, actually, second to Gamma now, because, you know, Gamma got reprinted. And yeah, pretty cool. Gotta say, good idea for Konami for reprinting that. So yeah, 21 monsters, pretty good. Now for the spells, we're running 3 copies of Vessels of the Dragon Cycle. It reads: you can send 1 more monster from your deck to your graveyard, and if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Tangy Spirit monster with a different name from the monster sent to the graveyard. Pretty cool idea. Pretty cool. That means that you can send Mirror, or you can send anything to the graveyard. And if you have a non-effect monster on the field, you can, if you send a Tenyi, you can add a different Tenyi, which is really nice. Pretty cool card. Next up, we're running 3 copies of Dragon Cycle of the Celestial Illusion, or Heavenly Dragon Cycle. My bad. Yeah, I just read the top name. My bad. Yeah, that was a blooper right there. So Heavenly Dragon Cycle. This is actually what's it called? Waterfall of the Dragon Spirit. That trap card that adds a worm. It's the same, but better because it's a quick play and it's a spell. Tribute 1 worm monster, add 1 worm monster from your deck to your hand, and if you tribute a non-effect monster to the activation of this card, you can special summon it instead, but negate its effect. Pretty cool. During your main phase, if you control a non-effect monster, you can banish this card, then add 1 Tenyi card from your deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn, and you can only use this for that turn. Pretty cool card. I gotta say, it's a really good card. In general, it's a really good Tenyi support card. Sorry about that. For the 2 ofs we're running is 2 copies of Flawless Perfection of the Tenyis. Now this is your field spell. The field spell, I run it at 2 for one reason. You can break with this too much. Trust me. You say, oh no, 3 is better. No, 2 is better because you can break with this card so many times, and I mean so many times. Trust me, we do. It reads: all non-effect monsters on the field are unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face-down monster or a non-effect monster, you draw 2 cards. This is really good because it's a draw 2. People just, you know, love a draw 2. I like a draw 2. Who doesn't love a draw 2? Now the next 2 copies we're playing 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Obviously, we need draw power, and this is really good. It's fine that you banish a couple of your Tenyis because you are gonna get to your Tenyis monsters overall, and some of them will be banished, and you can get them back. Very simple. Then we're playing 2 copies of Foolish Burial with Goods. Why are we playing Foolish Burial with Goods? Because of the spell card Heavenly Dragon Cycle. You can use Foolish Burial Goods, send this card, and you can add a Tenyi card, which is really nice. And yeah, it's a pretty simple add a Tenyi card from your deck to your hand. Really nice card overall. For the 1-ups, we're playing the 1 Terraforming, the 1 Foolish Burial, and the 1 Monster Reborn. And that's pretty much it for the spell. Now for the trap cards, we're playing 3 copies of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyis. This is your counter trap card for anything. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up non-effect monster, negate the activation. Simple as that. If this set card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck, which is really nice because this will let you summon some of your strong boss, your second non-effect monster, which is the strongest, which is nice. And the one copy and the one copy track card that we're playing is the one copy track card, and the only trap card they're playing is skill drain. Why can't I talk? It's been a while since I've done this. I am terribly sorry. It's the one skill drain. While you have skill drain, your opponent is cut to pieces. The reason why is that because you're using a lot of non-effect monsters, your boss monsters are non-effect monsters, and you're basically just dealing damage, and you're using all their effects from hand or from the banish. This doesn't affect anything you from the field, but your opponent, well, he gets kapui. And if your opponent cannot destroy this skill drain, he's kaput. He's kaput. I'm gonna say he's kaput. Obviously, if you want to do some changes to the main deck, it's fine to you. Obviously, options are always available. In many cases, you want to do any different changes or recommendations of the deck of any cards that you want to use, let me know in the comments below, and I'll think about them. Now, for the extra deck, obviously extra decks are always your personal preferences overall. This is my personal preference of the extra deck. So far, so good. So first off, we have obviously 3 monks of the Tenyi. This is your one of the main vanilla monsters. It requires 1 non-linked Tenyi monsters. Obviously, these are all non-Tenyi. This is just that. This is your vanilla monster. He's pointing down, which is nice. He has 1,000 of attack. Pretty simple card overall. Now, next up, we are playing 2 copies of the Shaman of the Tenyis. Now, this is another great card. It requires 2 war monsters. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 war monster in your graveyard. This is really good. Watch this. You can special summon it. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate any effect monsters, as I said. For war, you cannot special summon any monsters except for Tenyi monsters. The great thing about this is that you can easily bring Mirror back from the graveyard to the field. As so, or bring back Monk of the Tenyi, or anything that you brought that out of the extra deck. I mean, from your graveyard to the field, and it's really good. And the other powerful effect is that when an attack is declared involving a face-up non-effect monster, you can target one card your opponent controls to destroy it, which is really good because it's easy enough when you have the monk on the field and shaman. When you attack with the monk, her effect activates, you destroy that, simple and done. And it's really nice. It's a pretty fun card to say. Now, for your Link 3s, we're playing the Berserker of the Tenyi. This is your Link 3 monster. He's your beat stick, and he will demolish a lot of things because when this card is in the field, it's a 3,000 beat stick, and because you have the power of all the Tenyi monsters on the hand or graveyard, and you banish them for their effects, he will be a beast in the field, which is really cool. The next copy is we're playing 1 Draco Master of the Tenyi. This is the Link 3, another Link 3 monster. This is with Shaman and the Monk in the same together. So it requires 2+ monsters, including a Link monster. Obviously, it's a Link 3. Cannot be destroyed by battle with effect monsters. Really cool. And there's a really good effect. Cannot be destroyed by effect monsters. Solid thing. If you control no other effect monsters, you can destroy effect monsters your opponent controls up to the number of non-effect monsters you control from control or in your graveyard. Simple as that. Meaning that if you have one of these vanilla monsters or 2 of them, you destroy a card on the field, which is really nice. I gotta say, nice job. Now, last of the Tenyi Link monster, we're playing 1 Tangy Spirit Shasara. This is the Link 4, and this is this is basically, I think, the god dragon of theirs, or something like that. It's a 2+ wyvern monster. While you control a face-up non-effect monster, your opponent controls cannot target effect monsters for attack. Also, your opponent cannot target effect monsters on the field with card effects. Pretty sweet. Quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. Special summon 1 Tangy Spirit token. This token becomes the attack of the target original's attack, which is really good because you have a really strong token and you can just beat the living patooies out of him, which is nice. And it's a Link 4 and it has 3,000 of attack, so easy enough. This is another great beat stick. That's all the Link Tenyis we're playing. Now we do have the Synchro, which is the Draco Berserker of the Tenyis, or we call them the Draco Berserker of the Tenyis. Yeah, pretty much. I thought it was Ogre. But you know, Draco Berserker of the Tenyis. So this is the level 8 synchro monster, and it's a really generic one, which is really good. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish it, and if this attacking card destroys an effect monster by battle, send it to the graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the destroy monsters of its original turn. Also, can make a second attack on a monster during the battle phase. Pretty nice, I gotta say. Pretty nice card. I wish I could play this at 2, but I think one's enough because you're not trying to get in him too much. But I always do have 3. I always have original. I have 3 physical copies in my binder just in case I want to use them in different other decks. Pretty slow card. Now for the non-Tenyi Link monster, we're playing 1 Link Karibo, 1 Link Spider, 1 Land Force, because it's a vanilla monster and it's pretty good to come in, 1 Warlord, and 1 Yazi, the evil of the Yang Zing. Pretty good card. If you don't know what it does, it's a really good card. You gotta cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. You can only use one of these effects once per turn. You can only use one of these effects of him once per turn. You can target 1 Yang Z monster you control and one of your opponents, destroy them, which is really nice. When this card is destroyed, you can special summon a worm type monster from your deck in the defense position, which is really nice. Now for the side deck, obviously side decks are always optionable. You can optimize it as much as you want. It's what you want in your side deck. I feel like I'm saying side deck. I don't know. But yeah, obviously side decks are always optionable, and it's your decision if you want to go super mega budget into a side deck, which is totally fine. What is your decision? I will give you some options for that. But yeah, pretty much I will show you what is a side deck for this. But if you don't to play in YGOPRO, you know, for that, and if you want to do this in an actual physical form, obviously I'll give you the options. So first off, we're playing the Gamma engine, which is really nice because it's now being played in so many decks right now, because if your opponent goes first to do your super crazy combos and all that stuff, Gamma is your man to just literally destroy them. Yeah, it's a really good thing to have Gamma in the field, because the great thing is this card can be called by the grave, and it's really nice. Next up, we're running triple Ash Blossoms. You know what it does. Don't let your opponent add a card that knows is gonna bring you misery. Now for the spells, we're running 3 Dark Rune or more. If you wanna go higher in the budget, you know, you can go with Droplet. Whatever. I really don't like Droplet. Do dig the artwork though. 2 Twin Twisters. Yeah. Back row is really important because yeah. And triple impermanence. Yeah. So what is the optional cards for this? Well, Gamma is right now really cheap. I think it's like $1 to $2, and you can get the full set for like cheap, like $6, $2 to $4, depending on which versions. For the Toon Chaos one, like I'm actually gonna check that right now. If you excuse me for like a couple of seconds. Right now, the Toon Chaos, yeah, $2. It's not that bad. You can easily get these for like a total of $6. The thing is that yeah, Driver's gonna be super cheap. Like you can get Driver for super cheap. But yeah, Ash, you can play them for DD Crows or whatever. Yeah, DD Crows if you want to. Darula Lamore, it's kind of debatable, really, what you want to use as a cheap alternative for Dark Lunar Morph. Right now, Dark Lunar Morph's like $14, I think. I used to have these, but I sold them because I needed to get something. So yeah, it's debatable what you want to use there. You can use the Strike package, the Solomon package, any package of the Solomons will be good. They're still, I think they're still cheap, like really cheap for the commons or stuff like that. But yeah, Solomon package, good idea. Tintuser is really cheap right now. It's been reprinted so many times. You can get these at dollar stores, I think. For Infinite Impermanence, obviously, if you're not playing Effect Veiler in the main deck, obviously Effect Veiler's right there. Evenly Match is another great budget idea. I think it's like $30, the cheapest one, if I'm correct. So $90 for a really good staple card to just to literally banish your opponent's board entirely, which is really nice. I do say so, but yeah, you can do that, or you can yeah, you can easily go over that, or just use triple strike, triple judgment, Solomon package, all that stuff. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the deck. Obviously, I do not have any replays right now because I am very very busy right now, and I haven't saved the bit. I forget to save some replays, but overall, it's a fun deck. Try it out. The core is now super cheap to get in the Lost Memory tins. I bought the entire core of Tenyis for like $5 with the synchros, the links, spells, trap cards, all the monsters, everything for under $5. It's a solid deal. Obviously, Mirror is a really cheap card, and if I really obviously it's a cheap card. These are all reprinted in so many ways. Skill Drain as well has been reprinted a couple of times, so you can get this like at $2 to $3. And obviously, all the extra deck monsters are as well. Yeah, Yazi, I don't know how much Yazi is, so it's debatable. You can put another copy of Ogre if you don't have him. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do apologize that I haven't uploaded for a couple of weeks. I am dealing with school stuff, life stuff, and it's been a while since I've done that I've been in school because the classes have been changing and all that stuff for me. So yeah, and I hope you I hope everybody's safe, and be safe. Wash your hands. Put your mask on. Keep yourself clean. And I'll see you guys later. If you enjoyed this video, you can like, comment, subscribe. And if you didn't like this video, there's the door and there's the window. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.